All right, it is time to have some fun here. We're going to be roasting the audience members who saw the Snow White remake. Let's not waste any time. V gives Snow White 1 star. He says, in my opinion, the movie was all right. It was too much singing, his spelling error, not mine. Not enough storytelling, in my opinion. I'll give it 5 out of 10. He gave it 1 star, folks. Chad M gives it half a star. Says, I wouldn't recommend this one, but the wife said she got a good nap, so I guess it's worth half a star. So you paid $12 for your wife to doze off for an hour and a half. He's celebrating this. She could have slept at home. Save the money. And if you're a couple going to see this without kids, I would hope that at least one of you would fall asleep. I only watched all the way through because I have to. And, I kind of wanted to watch it. I was curious. Yanatu gives it 2.5 stars, says, the only good thing is gal. Well, which gal? There's 2 gals. And it's funny, for a movie that's so empowering for women, there is a hell of a lot more men in this movie than even in the original. There were a lot more open auditions for men than for women in this movie. Jim M gives it 5 stars, says, I really enjoyed seeing a new take on the story that honored the original and let me wondering, his grammar error, not mine, what would happen. He was let wondering what would happen. Watching Snow White. Okay, so we're dealing with a simpleton. That is okay. We love and respect everybody. Everybody is welcome here. That's cute. I wish I had that level of suspense going into any movie now. If he's on the edge of his seat with Snow White, he must have really good movie-going experiences. He must have been a hoot watching Titanic. He must have thought they were actually going to avoid that iceberg. I bet that last hour and a half really sunk him. All right, moving on, we have Drew H. He gives the Snow White remake half a star, says, absolute scum. My kids hated this movie. Disney should have Catwoman this movie. So I don't know if he means that Disney should have whipped it, like Catwoman. She has a whip? That's her thing? Disney should have Catwoman to this movie, right? Or does he literally mean Disney should have Catwoman in this movie?
Meow.
What would that be like if Snow White was a badass chick with tight leather spandex and, the whip and the claws and all that? The dwarves find her in bed. they would have very different thoughts going through their head in that version than in the one we were given. All right, No Name gives it half a star, says, what is this? Well, it's Snow White. You came onto the forum to write the review. You don't need to start it with what is this? You're not Jack Skellington discovering Christmastown for the first time. He goes on, I went into the theater with low expectations, but when I finished watching the movie, it was very disappointing. Well, no, it wasn't disappointing if you went in with low expectations. You expected nothing from this movie, so there was no way for you to be disappointed. The only reason to be disappointed is if you go in expecting the greatest thing ever. And then it doesn't meet those expectations, that's where disappointment comes in. Like when you tell your kids, I'm not mad, I'm just disappointed. It's because you had higher expectations for them. You had a high bar for them to meet. Samuel M gives it half a star, says this says this movie gave me AIDS. Oh, that is the review of the century. That's amazing. Sparta1 gives it half a star, says, garbage, don't waste your money. The reason I saw the movie, it was free. That's why I wasted my precious time watching this garbage. Just because something is free, you're not obligated, you're not bound to do that thing. You got a free ticket to see this movie that you didn't want to watch in the first place. You had every right to choose not to waste your time. Give it to somebody else. If you thought it was going to be so bad, give it to an enemy. Pretend like you're trying to mend bridges. There were so many different things you could have done. You could have thrown the ticket away. Ever thought of that? You are in no way obligated or bound to watch this movie because you had a free ticket. The theater is not going to call Sparta and say, hey, we have an empty seat. You need to come fill that seat because you have that ticket. Sarah S gives it 5 stars, says, A little scary, but me and my 7, 9, and 12-year-old kids loved it. Oh, Sarah, bless your heart. Oh, I'm guessing she hasn't seen the original. The original Snow White and the original Pinocchio, those are horrific films. Snow White has some very scary sequences, and I'm not even talking about the part where she's lost in the forest. The queen transforming into the witch, even Snow White taking the bite of the apple. It is very, very scary stuff. But oh, Sarah, this one is not scary. It was a CGI fest for a couple seconds. In fact, they went out of their way to not make this in the least bit scary. You know, I know a lot of people are like, oh, the dwarves are scary. I get that, haha. And she doesn't even have, like, young kids. They're 7, 9, and 12. I'm just so sad. Like, were they scared? I mean, I'm not going to make fun of a kid for being scared of something, but it's no different than getting nightmares from watching Bluey. I'm sorry, Sarah. I wish you the best of luck. All right, No Name gives it half a star, says, I think the 2026 remake is going to be better. I hear Shaquille O'Neal will play the role of Snow White. Can't wait. That's good. His Royal Highness Reginald H. gives it half a star, says, absolute garbage movie made by garbage people for a garbage audience. Hey, come on. Dude, you're just attacking everybody here. The audience isn't garbage. Disney thinks the audience is garbage, but you should not be calling us that. We're the victims here. Avoid this movie if you love your children. If you hate them, take them twice. Mooney B gives it 5 stars, says, I must say, I love this improvised storyline. It's a movie based off of another movie, based off of a book, a short story. There is no improvising here. The actors had a script that they had to stick to. Disney does not have the time or even the talent to indulge in any sort of improvising. Mooney B, that's cute. No Name gives it 4 stars. Says, I saw him last night, and he was surprisingly good. Sure, he wasn't perfect, but he was good. The songs were all sung with great passion, which really impressed me. I'm pretty sure this person was meaning to write a personal ad on Craigslist. Jordan S. gives it half a star. Says, horrible movie with an atrocious lead actress. This movie has no heart or soul. It's just a tool for some weirdos to push their agenda and politics onto children. Gross.
Whoa! Pump the hate brakes, Fox and Friends.
You can say a lot of bad things about this movie, and a lot of it would be right. But one thing I give Disney credit for is that there's not a lot of politics being pushed here. I think we all agree that girls should be taught to stand up for themselves and to fight for what's right. I don't think that is a move based out of political agenda. He's not wrong for hating this movie. I get it. But I also think he is just looking to hate everything. And don't be that guy. Don't be Jordan S. WWJSND. What would Jordan S. not do? Brayden C. gives it 1 star. Says, you couldn't pay me to watch this horrific rendition of a classic childhood movie. I mean, I'll take the check. Make it out in care of Roast the Critics, and I will gladly accept your money to watch a movie. In fact, you could do that by going over to my Patreon. If you want to request a movie for me to do, that is your ticket right there. Patricia M. gives Snow White half a star, says, what an excellent way to ruin a classic Disney movie. Go work, go broke. I don't know. Last time I went to work, I got paid. I don't know who Patricia M. is working for, but I suggest she pick another career path. All right, No Name gives it half a star, says, I'm so sad this is not real Snow White. Turn on Disney Plus? Rent it from, like, the library? Look, if I'm gonna go see the Minecraft movie, I'm not gonna come out of it saying, oh, I wish it was Scarface. Steve B gives Snow White 5 stars, says, the audience cheered during certain parts and clapped at the end. Clapping at the end, alright, I can see that, but what are you cheering at? What moment in this movie got anybody to cheer? It's not like there was a surprise. There weren't any twists. The queen still made the poison apple. She still bit the apple. The prince still kissed the guy, guy, prince, whatever. Still kissed her. Woke up. You had to have, this had to have been a showing with, an after-school program, preschoolers. That was, their field trip day. They were just cheering because they got refills on popcorn. I don't know. Sure, Steve, sure. That's all I got for you. I'll see you in the next video. There is no improvisation here. There is no improvising here. This story highlights the beauty that lies within, as well as with the values of kindness and back so many memories. I loved it. What memories?
You know what?
Oh my gosh. But it doesn't even reflect. It's so different from the original one. It doesn't remind anybody of the original one.